that mean you can't say bad words?
You just said that on there, but yes, you
can, but it'll be recorded.
Your guys' redirection of me was recorded too.
All right, guys, it's 5:30. We'll call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do you have any adjustments to the agenda?
Mr. Brumby, do we need to take off item number 1? Going back a bit?
Yeah, no academic.
Okay.
Take off item number 1, and then on my board report, I'd like to add LTA hiring update.
Is that it? All right, so we will move on to student recognition for cross country. I'll let you go for it.
Thank you, Madam Chair and trustees, district leadership. We are blessed today to have our cross-country team here, or representatives thereof, under the tutelage of their wonderful coach, Mr. Michael Brown. I've been around cross-country for a long time, coached a little of it, ran a lot, and I think I can honestly say that it's one of the harder sports, next to wrestling probably, as well as generally the kids that gravitate to cross country are some of our elite students and athletes. And the 3 that are sitting here and Ruben coming in here are just wonderful representatives of this school. And out of all of our recognitions, this one's kind of dear to me. They're good kids and I've enjoyed every one of them. And Mr. Brown will definitely talk a little bit about their accolades and their effort and stuff, but they are wonderful people and I'm excited to recognize them. They're just good people. Mr. Brown, the floor is yours.
Absolutely. Do you want me to stand up? Stand right here?
Yes.
Okay.
The camera will follow you.
That's creepy. Come on in, Ruben. All right. We had some terrific cross-country runners this season. Terrific efforts by these guys, and we had quite a few really good improvements. I want to talk about each and every one of them individually, not only numbers, but just kind of how they were throughout the season. And I'll talk about those runners that are not here briefly too. We have Skylar here who started out, she wanted to run with her friends and she jumped right in and we got her running and she improved from her first meet. She had an 18:51, got around 45th place, and we saw a slight improvement. She improved by over a minute. She got down to a 17:25 on her very next meet. Scored 37th place overall, which was terrific. Kinley, she's been there ever since the start. She ran with us last year. She did well, and she even made a top 10 this year, which was pretty impressive. Kinley started out at 16:29, and then by the time that we got her to the 4th meet, which was at, where was it at? Was it at Amon Park?
It was at Castle Rock.
I thought Castle Rock was the second.
I don't know.
Okay, maybe I'm mixing up my locations. Anyways, Kinley improved by a minute. She got all the way down to a 15:18, and that's where she scored the 10th place finish for all the girls. So that was a very impressive race. Good for you. We have Morgan here. Morgan, you know what? She fought all throughout the season. Toward the end, you had, what was it, shin splints? Some pretty bad shin splints? Okay, but you still fought through that last race, and it was a joy having you. Your first meet that you raced, our second meet, you had a time of 20 minutes and 8 seconds, and we actually got you down to an 18:53 by the time the 4th meet came around. I'm not going to count that last meet because you had a pretty rough meet that times, but that was still really impressive. Yeah, we enjoyed having you on the team. You were terrific. Ruben, I want to talk about Ruben's placements because last year, Ruben just trotting along, and that's kind of what Ruben does. He was generally toward the back of the pack, and we actually made it so that he was toward the middle of the pack. So the beginning of this season, He started out with a 21:31 at the first meet, which, in all honesty, that was 154th place. But Ruben definitely made it. He got in the top 100 with a score with a time of 19:41. Got in 95th place, and for a guy your size, that's actually pretty impressive. You were riding right in the middle of the pack toward the end of the season, and we loved seeing that for him. Yeah, you improved by, I think, 50 placements. So yeah, that's a score to be proud of. I want to talk briefly about our other runners. Jordan Manti has an excellent stride, and he's always kind of stayed right toward the front of the pack, getting 13th? No, I'm getting that wrong. 19th his first meet, and he kind of stayed right in those teens as he was running. He went from a 15:15 down to a 13:59, where he scored a 13th place finish. So that was pretty impressive. Caleb was definitely the front runner of our group. It's a shame that he's not here tonight because we loved having him on the team. He was definitely a leader. I mean, many of these runners were leaders, but Caleb started out strong and he scored a couple of second place finishes down with a 13:14 toward the end of the last meet, coming second to a 5th grader. Yes, there's a 5th grader at Billings Christian that is outrunning the rest of the group. It was insane to watch. So lots of talent there. Also Charlie. So Charlie was part of our team. Charlie, we saw some massive improvements. So Charlie started out talking with the other runners on some of the first races, Charlie Nicholson, and she wasn't necessarily doing that so well at the start of the season, but as the season went on, she went from a 116th place down to a 27th place. Wow. So that speaks volumes. Her time went down from a 22:52 all the way down to a 17:29. So let me reiterate, that's a 5-minute difference between her first meet and the last meet, all at the same location. So we had some excellent runners. It's a shame we did have Abby McKelvey there at the beginning of the season, but she had to quit due to some injuries. We still enjoyed having her there, and I just want to give it up to these cross-country runners. They did a terrific job this season. Good job, you all. Any words that you want to add?
No.
Oh, come on, girls. You guys did a great job. That sounds fantastic. We have a little recognition and stickers. If you come up and start with Amy and kind of make around the table and shake everybody's hands, and we'll give you a little.
Walk in the front here.
Good job, Peter.
I want a sticker. And I want the handshake.
So much job. All right, good girl.
Oh, that's okay. I just want to say. Yeah. It was a blast. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, good job, ladies and gents. All right, we are on to our administrative report.
Madam Chair, if I can take the liberty, you guys don't have to stay if you don't want to. I love it.
I've never seen him move that fast.
Thanks, guys.
That is true.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Holy moly.
Madam Chair, members of the board, we are
right now.
post-holiday break, and the rubber has met the road. We know that we have kind of a long stretch here. I think our teachers are settling in for a fairly long stretch of just academics and pushing on our progress monitoring and really kind of getting into the teaching and learning of things. There is some dread about this long stretch. We'll see how it goes. I did ask the teachers to really concentrate on supporting one another and staying lifted as we get through the harder, darker days of winter maybe, and we'll see how it goes. Nonetheless, The staff remains positive, I think, and they're fun to be around, and we're charging forward, so that's good. With regard to the LTA, you know that we have an LTA for PE advertised and an LTA for our Dean of Students.
Can you remind me?
Yeah, LTA is long-term assignment.
Gotcha.
Because we have a couple people
They
leaving.
think they should have them.
They get to go, yeah, maternity leave. We don't necessarily have a quick fix for PE yet. I'm working with Rocky and Ms. Hurd. We think we have a gentleman that will be able to slide over from Elysian, but there's about a 2-week gap in there that we're struggling to find someone to cover a class, so we might have to cover that with them. And then that gentleman will carry us to the end of the year. So we're working on a solution there. We've interviewed 2 people for the long-term dean assignment or assistant principal assignment, and we're about ready to make a decision. 2 quality people. I will tell you what the drawback and the hang-up is on that, and that's just the HR pay scale. So we have to pay them sub rate for 30 days. And then once 30 days is over, and that 30 days can't be broken, 30 days, and then we can offer them a contract, and it would be a prorated contract of that salary. So some of the retired teachers, in the end, or retired principals, they would make too much, right? So it'd have to be someone that might be in a similar position like me, or you know, someone younger looking for some experience, that kind of thing. And it's just tough to find those people. So we're about ready to make a decision. I think we have 2 good candidates, and we'll see if we can get a yes out of them once they hear kind of the pay structure. If both of those are not interested, I don't know where we'll go. Ms. Hurd did say she'd be interested in or would be willing to come in and support, but not all 4 days, maybe a couple days a week. And any help within the realm of student discipline is always welcomed, you know, but we'll have to decide if that's where we want to go. We're about, Haley could probably update you, or Ms. Morales a little bit, but we're about, what, 6 weeks out from your departure, maybe? 7?
6, yeah.
6, which is a celebration, and we get all excited. Everyone gets excited but me. Because then things will fall apart. I just don't know what to do. But no, she'll be missed. All right, evaluations. Probably a little behind on evaluations, but we should be able to have those wrapped up and with the normal calendar, and recommendations for rehires will be coming to you as protocol asks. So just know we're working on those. We have a gentleman, Dr. Clubber. Now I wanted to think the name. I was thinking about it all day today. Now it slipped me, but we have a gentleman coming in on our PIR day, and he's kind of on the speaking circuit. We brought him in to help motivate us in the dark times of winter, but also he's going to work with us on Tier 1 intervention. You've heard me talk about, you were introduced to MTSS last time. So most of it's going to be talking about providing accommodations in Tier 1 or grade level instruction and supporting at-risk students within the grade level classrooms. This is nothing new to teachers, but we're kind of hitting this gong a little harder because we have a new state of assessment, right? And every student is assessed at grade level. So it's been kind of practice in education that we would reduce the cognitive complexity for a kid. We'd say, well, they're not at that level yet, so they're going to read at this level, and that's where they're going to work. And that's really not where we need to be. And the new state assessment or assessment should be pushing us to grade level instruction and modifying that to try to pull those kids to that level, to try to close that gap as quick as we can. So this gentleman's supposed to come in, give us some tools. You'll get an invite from us, but we generally break bread in the morning, have a donut or two. And then we, 5, then we learn, and then we have lunch, and Sharon will be providing lunch. She usually makes a nice lunch for us, and then we'll finish the day. I did tell Haley that we'll probably ask the gentleman to cut it a little short, just because it makes for a long day, and want to recognize the efforts of the teachers too. So that'll be good. We also are starting book study through the ACE Co-op with our teachers and with administration, where they all have opportunity to get OPI hours. All of that is around handling at-risk kids and providing tier 1 instruction. So that's good. It's kind of the theme right now. So we're right in line with what the big world's doing. It's good stuff. Accreditation, that's one of the big reports that will be due in late March. I would tell you that I'm kind of excited because we're set up fairly well. We started working on the graduate profile with Ms. Morales' great work. We've done surveys. We have a school improvement committee that's working on school goals, and we'll refashion those and we'll continue to adjust those. But it has been kind of our conversation around school improvement. So we have the processes in place. So now it's just putting the folder together, showing some documentation that we have done that. You'll see a graduate profile come in front of you for eventually your approval very soon. We started with the faculty. We're kind of massaging it right now in PLCs, and then we'll get kind of a draft that we feel good about. It will go out to the stakeholders, and I'll ask for them to give input and mark the ones that they like, because they want it to be a community ran document, and you guys will have voice in it as well. So that'll be good. Beyond that, we did the climate surveys. I shared it with Madam Chair. After this meeting, I'll email it to the rest of you. That was just the parent survey. I think it would be good for you guys to peruse that. The marks are good. There are some wonderful themes coming out of that. I think you guys would all feel fairly decent about your efforts, and the themes or the areas of concerns you know about. All of you have spoken about them. And if we continue to get to the point where we have a strategic plan, I think you then would have the ability or a tool to drive down into the organization of how best to address some of those themes or problematic areas, rather than, you know, spitballing or whatever it is. And it could be a systemic approach around achievement, or it could be a systemic approach around behavior, those kinds of things. And that would then give you guys the ability to set the star and put us to work. And we would come back and report to you to meet your expectation. So beyond that, excited about the direction of things. I think people are feeling pretty good about where we are. Behavior is a challenge. It's a challenge across all schools. And I don't necessarily have a silver ball or a golden answer. I do think it stems around having a very solid MTSS system and everybody kind of doing a behavioral systemic approach to handling it in their rooms, and then systemically move it into administration. And we just got to get to that point where we're all talking the same, kind of approaching it the same way. I think it's even a little more pronounced in a smaller school because there's so many eyes on things. People can hide in a larger school and it doesn't seem as impactful, but here, you know, you have one little monkey step out of line and everybody sees it. And it can cause a fairly large ripple. But those are our daily experiences, and we have kids, and most of the kids are doing wonderful. And then there are some that are challenging us. But good teachers and good people moving forward.
Great. Questions, anyone?
The climate survey, you said that'll be
sent out or?
Yeah, I meant to copy it and have a copy of it for you, but the copy machine was challenging me a little bit today, to be honest with you. And then a couple meetings, I'm like, I'm tired of messing with this thing.
And your computer was challenging you today? You've had a
My-
The
day.
whole week.
My computer is not doing like Google Meet, like it won't pick me up, like the mic says it's on, but it won't listen to me. And
I have a similar problem with my computer.
I know. it's
It just
like,
means we don't have to work that day. Or I'd like it to be
I
done.
about tossed this through the window.
So is it something you can email?
Yep.
When it's, okay,
Yep.
cool.
I'll just email it to all of you. I'll put it in PDF form. And I mean, it's a few pages, but it's easy to read. It's, it's graphed out for you. I think you'll take interest in the parent comments
Sure.
more than anything.
Anything else?
In regards to your computer and the printer, I would refer you to the printer scene in Office Space, the movie.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Ms. Morales, you're up then.
All right, I was able to get to the behavior data a little bit earlier than I normally do. So I know Danny was able to send that out to all of you yesterday evening. Not sure if you got to look at it or,
It was this morning.
oh, this morning.
Sorry.
Sure, no, it's fine.
She did give it to me a little earlier. I didn't get to send it.
The auditor is here, we cannot,
Yeah.
we got things going on. Like Kelly said, it's just a daily thing. We've got a lot going on every day. Some things are just documentation only. I will say it feels like a lot. I think it is a lot, but we are asking teachers to document things that first time we're at that basic level, just so we can have documentation of where we're going and how many times it's happening when we meet with a parent. So it's not like, oh, this is just a one-time thing. Like, actually, we have pages. We'll meet before pages, though. I would say a lot right now is just disrespect or insubordination. Today I had an incident where a kid refused to come to the office and fought with his teacher about it. So then I came down, continued to fight with it. I was able to get him down, but it took a lot. Then we couldn't do simple tasks of like pushing your chair on your way out. Like, it just was a lot. So it quickly turns into a parent phone call, just giving you an update, this is where we're at, and a consequence that we usually try to work on together. So I'd say a lot of it is that. I don't love, it's important teachers take care of that in the classroom, but it's frustrating for me when a kid continually tells a teacher no, or just doesn't do what they're asking. That drives me crazy. So I do like to step in and like, no, you're going to do this. Or we sit and talk about it after they have some time to themselves to kind of, we wouldn't do this at home, you wouldn't do this, other places. So that has been a challenge for our middle, intermediate level, I would say, more than anyone. Our little kids are actually just doing pretty good. Yeah, I would actually say they're rocking it, actually. We do have a kid that struggles, but we've been doing a lot of interventions and have, his teacher has a bunch of things going, and then we are going out of our way to really reach out and congratulate when things go good, and it was an amazing week. So that was huge for us. And then junior high, they are just a treat. There's just constant drama, so that it's constant, he said this, she said this, I'm gonna lose it on this person, or, it just never ends. So we've been trying to do some conflict resolutions, restorative circle type meetings. We did have one right before Christmas break that went really well. And then just kind of Kim and I are kind of keeping up on like, okay, is this a real problem or is this just something that you think they're trying to stir the pot? Like, let's think about that before we're constantly asking to talk to me or Mrs. Tennant every day. So, yeah, things are busy, but they're kids, so being graceful. Did any of you have time to look at that? Do you have questions?
Drugs and tobacco
Yeah.
in school.
So that's kind of been, usually we have one incident a year. In the last 3 years, I would say I've had one incident per year. And that is definitely spiked up this year. They're getting it from home or outside locations, sneaking it in. There's always someone that finds out and we find out quickly after. We've done quite a few searches to make sure we're getting all of it or any of it. And usually in the end, either Kelly or I can get one of them to admit like, yeah, I brought that. So that we confiscate it and deal with that.
Okay.
But yeah, that has definitely been the spike in our middle school this year. Yeah.
Most of the access or
I was just gonna say, access is so much easier now.
they steal it
You know,
from the parents
because
generally.
it's just
It's
there.
A neighbor has it at their house, or, yeah, their friend in high school has the vapes, you know, it's all over. So it's really hard to manage. But we do have some really good kids that are like, that is not allowed, and they're instantly telling us like, we hear there's so-and-so has something, and so we're quick to jump in and try to do some searches and get it figured out before the day goes by.
I guess in my experience, if you're an underage kid with tobacco or drugs, then authorities are called and MIPs are dished out. Is that not a thing in this school?
Well, I'm not sure that they would dish out an MIP, would they?
Not for that.
No.
If it was alcohol, maybe, but I don't think for
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 marijuana. they're not
marijuana or
gonna give-
vaping.
They're not gonna give a 6th grader an
Don't
MIP
think they
for
do.
marijuana?
I don't think
So,
that's
I think traditionally speaking, the sheriff department is,
Overworked, just like everybody?
and to
understaffed.
be honest with you, they feel that's very low on their priority
Right.
list. I did, when we had our little threat situation, visit with them to some degree, and they said, if it's a repeated issue, give us a call and we'll cite. In District 2, the SROs were in your school and they would cite on all of that kind of stuff. I think our relationship with the sheriff department, we just don't want to become a nuisance for them, but if it's a repeated issue, they would cite. It has to be on them, which all the vapes were in possession. The marijuana situation, it was ingested. We didn't have any evidence of it other than they admitted to it. So if a police officer came in or the sheriff came in, they would probably do a little test on them and maybe, but my guess is if the parents didn't want anything to happen, it wouldn't happen. What I found and what I've tried to tell the parents is, hey, you know, we're gonna suspend this person and, but if you can go take a urine test and bring back that it's clean, then we won't suspend them. And generally, they don't bring a test back. So, yeah, I think we can push on that a little bit with the sheriff department. They're just difficult to get here sometimes unless it's not an emergency. They'll come. They're even hesitant to really work on truancy issues, right? And that's by law. And they know it's kind of a waste of their time too, because they'll go and they'll tell the parents, yeah, I gotta get your kid to school, and it has to go on for about a half a year before they even think about citing them, just because of the direction that they're given as well. So it's kind of left up to us to some degree, but I do think your concern is valid, and I do think we can we can try to push on some of those situations if we feel we need to, if it's repeated and that kind of thing. Right now, I know only one THC incident, and I think we kind of know where it came from and that situation. The vapes, they've been different people, so now they're all doing it, and it's repeated because they pass it around. It's probably why they're all sick. But,
And then we did have the one container of weed,
yeah,
but that was not on a kid. We
No.
found it in a search in the bathroom.
yep.
And it took us probably 2 hours to get anywhere on whose it was and how they got it.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these kids, early intervention is gonna help them in the long run, and if we don't try to help them at all, we're all failing them. And any one of you wanna talk to my wife about early intervention, you all can, because it's very disappointing how young these kids are, and
Well, and it's
nobody
even-
was there to help them.
It's even younger now than it
Yeah,
was, say, back in the day. I don't
grader.
wanna ages, but back in the day, I mean, now it's even, when you're 5th and 6th grade, like, that's really, we have talked briefly about, and we had talked briefly, or at one point, we had tried to do an SRO officer, but one funding, we were gonna try to ante up the funds, but then the county had nobody to give us because they had a huge influx, it was like right after COVID, huge influx of retiring, and then to bring anybody on, it's a 2-year process before they can actually go do anything. And so we were like, okay, well, that doesn't help us, you know.
Like, if
We have
it's 2
talked
years,
about,
it's
to
better
Kelly
to
about,
get it started now than later.
yeah, about
used
trying to
to
have
have
somebody walk through
In
to
the
just
past,
every once in a while.
a couple options that we used to do with some kids here, if it was bad enough, and I wasn't in the full process, I was on the periphery. But an option that we did give them, I know that Kim was a part of it, but we would give them the option to go down, remind me where it was, but they had
And
an
do
option
that
to go do the class.
Class, yeah.
I don't know if it's an option anymore to go do
Yes.
that class.
There is a vape class,
The-
Riverstone
The vape
Health.
class, yeah.
But
I
it
don't
used to
know
be,
if
we
we
used to
can't
say
do that
we were
anymore
gonna get
because we're
kicked
not a
out
part
or
of
take
Riverstone
class.
Health anymore.
Again, there is an age limit.
Right, and we're not
So
affiliated
if you're
with
too young.
Riverstone Health anymore, so I don't know if that's an issue. Because
Yeah.
we're not contracted with them.
Yeah.
But there are avenues, I don't know if the class is an option or anything.
Yeah.
I don't know if it helps. But we have tried that
Yeah, we
before.
used to have that as a option. But if they don't meet the age requirements, that's a problem.
And a parent can ask that they not
They
go.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And just
Well,
have
that's just-
suspension.
that's just the thing, it's because parents don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
Simple as that, but I mean, if parents don't care, that doesn't mean we shouldn't care.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
I mean, I don't want us to become a burden to the sheriff's department for,
I say we
type of stuff,
exploit
like-
them, I mean, let's use the sheriff's department, I heard they split 50% of SRO's salary with us. So if we would've gotten started 2 years ago, then we would have one by now, wouldn't we?
that was never an option.
Never an option, went to cities
That's how it is in District 2.
in District 2.
With, that's the
But
local
that's the
PD, I don't know what the
police. It
sheriff
wasn't with the
contract
sheriff.
would be.
Because we're in the county, we have to have sheriffs. I have a reach out to one of my old friends, Bob Lester, who's the sergeant of Sheriff's Department, and I can talk to him more about it
Yeah, get
and
us some
see,
advice.
Yeah.
and see, because he said the biggest problem is hiring, but there's gotta be somebody. And we're not the only county school in the United States.
No, and none of the county schools around here have one.
Exactly, so what if we split one with the Legion?
We tried that.
We
Split
tried
one with
that.
Elder Grove.
Yeah,
We
We
did
can't
try
do
that
what
with the
we want.
Legion and Elder Grove, and it was funding.
it was funding and getting a person.
Yeah.
We just didn't have, at that time. Now, I don't know what their situation, personnel situation is now.
Right.
That's changed.
I'm sure it's still
But
behind.
then they were so far because they had like this mass retirement after
Right.
COVID. And then again, than the 2-year thing of having to train, and I don't know how that works, but having to train before they can go out and do anything.
Mhm.
That was, so that we were stuck, we just could not, there was not a body to be had.
There's gotta be some sheriff though that's like, listen, I'd rather work with kids than
About
the
ready to
criminals.
retire.
Well, see, that's what
Than
you
the
would
criminals on
think,
the
yeah,
street right now.
you would think.
You know, there's gotta be somebody.
It's
So
worth,
if the-
it's worth talking to them again and seeing if
I
the
think-
status has changed.
It's been enough time since COVID.
Yeah, it's,
that maybe-
In my opinion, it's at least worth to educate ourselves on, so we know what, if things get worse, then we know it's an option.
And we might,
If behavior
What's
is
the
one of the biggest
formal-
issues, then that's one of their main jobs, is to create like relationships and help with behavior issues.
and maybe at a work session, we could, if we get our strategic, Emily here, maybe part of it, we could invite the undersheriff or whatever, and let's just have an open conversation. Like, what are you willing to do? You know, how could you support us? And let's just get it, a verbal commitment that maybe they'll come here more often. I did invite them in, they have it shown, I said, come here one time for lunch and sit down with the kids. And I'll buy you lunch. And if we could even just get them walking through the building.
Yeah,
it'd be
not just parked in the church parking
it
lot.
would make a big
Yeah.
difference, I think,
Yeah,
you know.
We had one today, actually, for another situation to do with CPS, but even that was a 4-day wait. We were told that they would be here Monday. So it's definitely
Yeah.
just not timely for us.
I personally know the sheriff, if you'd like me to reach out to him, see if we can come to the next meeting.
yeah, and I don't necessarily know if a meeting setting is
Yeah.
good, but if we do a work session,
We do
so
have to, yeah.
let's see if Emily reaches out to us. I have an invite to her to get some dates, and maybe if we can mid-January here or whatever, if we can get her here, we could say, well, let's take an hour of it and meet with the sheriff. And then,
Because then we can really discuss, I mean, it's easier than that, because I've kind of set in to discuss.
Mhm. So we have to, let's do it before board meeting.
sounds good.
Perfect.
Any other questions on behavior?
No, sorry. Sorry you have to deal with so much,
It's okay, I will say it's
especially while you're pregnant.
it's not been impacting my pregnancy. Kelly always steps in so I don't have a overlap. But thank you. We are starting our statewide testing again on Tuesday next week. So this is the mass testing window 2. Everyone's ready to go. We've got some new students, so I've been training Mrs. Tennant on how to use MAST so she can take over because I will miss window 3 and 4. So she and I have been working together, kind of giving her all the ropes and tricks and where to find this. And so we did some of that today to get new test tickets and new students enrolled for the testing. It is the standards-based, so I did align it the best I could to our curriculum. And I will share those results as we get them. It will be a week later every time, and then at the end we'll have a whole composite for you. There is a parent portal access to that. I don't know if you guys received your parent portal information from conferences or some of it was mailed. But parents do have the ability to access their test scores for their kids online. So we can get more information out if you aren't recalling that, or if you think maybe we need to send it out again. But it is an easier way for you guys to access rather than mailing all these test results all the time. So, and that's just 3rd through 8th grade.
Any questions there, guys? Alright, thank you, Ms. Morales. Alright, on to new business. Can I get a motion for the county election agreement?
I'll make a motion to discuss the county election agreement. Is it discuss or accept? It can't be discussed.
No, can't be
Got it. I make a motion to accept the county election agreement.
Can you say fiscal year 25?
I'm sorry, what?
Can you say fiscal year 25 county election?
Oh, sorry, for fiscal year 25.
I make a motion to,
Sorry.
I'm forgetting what I'm supposed to say. Make a motion to approve county election agreement for fiscal year 25.
Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Give me 1 second just to update that.
So what this is, obviously elections is coming up. This is just stating that county's gonna do the elections for us regarding trustees and any potential levies that are coming up. It just states all of the fun bindings that go into it, what they do, what I have to do, that's all it is. That's all it is for the agreement for that one. That's why I didn't share it. I mean, you can read it if you want to, but it's literally straightforward on that one. The next one is the one that I have to really summarize.
Do you guys have any questions?
No, we want them to handle it, please don't make
Yeah, I
me
know,
handle
like-
it.
Yeah.
Please
Not
don't
something
make
we
me
want to
handle
take on
it.
ourselves.
We did explore that once.
We did, it's a lot,
Definitely
it's
wasn't gonna be-
preferable to have the county, handle the
Manage it,
elections,
yeah.
yes, it is. It's a lot of timetables, it's a lot more money if you do it yourself, it's a lot more legal
Time.
if you do it yourself, it's a lot more time.
Yep.
It's just way more preferable for them to handle it. Yes.
Any questions with that one, you guys? All right, all those in favor of the county election agreement for 2025, or the fiscal year 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed? All right, can I get a motion for the trustee election resolution?
I so moved.
Can you just say fiscal year 2025? Put
Well,
that in the
so
thing,
this
yeah.
one's hard, okay. So for your motion, you have to motion what you want it to be. So it's not just approving this resolution, the resolution has to be like, do you want it just for trustee positions? Do you want it for trustee positions and the possibility of a levy? You have to say what you want this resolution to be for.
So,
This is the only time that you are allowed to say if you want the potential of a levy. If you don't say it now, you're not allowed to ever put it back on. There is time later on during the election process to take it back off if you decide later on that you don't want it. You can never put it back on though during this process. So this is just the resolution saying, hey, we might want this.
So, let's see, can I get a motion?
That's what this is.
For the trustee election resolution and the potential possible,
You can,
And
you don't
that's
have to say it that way.
levy
It's just
for the-
say general fund levy.
or
if
general
that's what
fund
you
levy
want.
for the fiscal year 2025.
I so moved.
We'll get it. We only do that one once a year, it's like. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
All right, any questions? Okay, all those in favor of the trustee election and possible levy action for the 25 year, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed? All right, staff appreciation planning, this is just information only. We have this on here early so that we can start thinking about it because it is like here before we know it and we're like, crap. And we're running backwards. So just kind of start thinking about things we've done in the past, other ideas forward for staff appreciations. And then maybe kind of, we'll put it back on February and bring some of those forth and.
It happens the first week of
May. We've done things like food trucks, coffee trucks.
Food trucks, coffee trucks, we did
Bring
a
food in.
taco bar,
Bar.
right, tacos. We've done, well, you guys have done like the bunk cake towers with drinks. Those were all the recent years.
Yeah. So that's what I.
And then along with all of those, there's recognition pins, so for years of service. that go out for intervals, and I have that on a spreadsheet that I will send that out way when it
Right
gets
before.
closer.
So if you hear of something or think of something that's we haven't done or something that sounds fun, bring it forth and get moving on it, and lock it down. Because otherwise May is here and we're like, oh, nah.
And sometimes, depending on what the idea is, it does
Take a little time to get things together.
together. And I guess, I prefer you all to be here if you can, or as many of you as I can, because the staff do really appreciate seeing all of you here for it.
Any questions, thoughts there?
Not at the moment.
What?
Not at the
I
moment.
said not at the moment.
Not at the moment.
No, I need an idea now.
Right now. All right, at this time, it is 6:15. We are going to go into closed session.
So, it has to be a motion.
No, it does not.
Oh, it doesn't?
Mm-mm. No, the board chair has the ability to go into closed section when it is something that the private, or the public is, that the privacy of the individual outweighs the public's knowledge.
Let me update it then.
So it does not have to be a motion.
I gotta update it.
And because by law, evaluations fall under that, we can go straight into closed session. Okay?
Don't forget to turn.
16:15, we'll go into
yes.
closed session and we will be turning the owl off to maintain privacy.
I don't mind the owls.
Yep.
Hang on,
What is it?
I gotta fix that.
Thank you. And did they, okay.
Is there a way to
You're
pause
correct.
it
I was gonna look.
without stopping it so that it can stay on the one?
Yeah,
It
I'll
looks
make
like
it the
there's
executive.